Ooh, ooh, ooh. Ladies, gentlemen, and gamers, welcome back. Oh, and fellow Star Rail enjoyers, I forgot to say that one. Welcome back to the start of the legendary and probably highly controversial Cyrene Drip Marketing Content Coverage Series Extraordinaire at 12:15 a.m. So, if you have no clue what I just said and no clue what I'm talking about, I don't know why you're here. But if you haven't been living under the rock and Patrick's Rock, and you actually keep up with Star Rail and you're interested in Cyrene and the end of Amphorius, you probably know a lot of what I'm talking about. So, there is a lot of stuff to talk about with Cyrene. Hopefully, it's not going to be too long because even this keeping up with Star Rail is 12 fucking minutes. So, this is actually a meatier video than usual. Now, this is the last major character of Amphorius. It's supposed to be the big hip hip hooray hoopla. And while I do believe it will live up to at least my expectations are not that high for multiple reasons. But I think a little realistic. But ultimately, we're going to see in this video, we're not going to see fully because they're not going to give us numbers, but we're going to see generally how her kit operates. I'm sure once we see numbers, we might be surprised, but the biggest controversy with Cyrene that I guess I'll get to first, and there's a lot, is for the special program live stream that they did, which I also reacted to. So I kind of know her kit coming into this, but they're going to explain more specifics here. They basically showcased her at E6. And the reason that people are saying that, well, number one, it's true, but the reason that people think that Hoyo did that, better way to say it, is because Cyrene is not as strong as people want her to be. Now, for those of you who don't know and haven't played Hoyo's previous games, Hoyo made Honkai Impact Third, which basically started their whole, ascent to world domination with gachas. And in Impact Third, there's a lot of characters that they eventually port out to their future games, which they called SPs, or XPs actually, which is exports. This is where Cyrene is one of them. Cyrene is a character in Impact Third called the Hersher of Human Ego, basically love, and they look pretty much the same. If you see Cyrene in that game, you'll know who she is. It's oh god, what the fuck was her name? Alicia. It was Alicia. So this is where Alicia is very beloved by the Impact Third community, and a lot of Impact Third people eventually moved on and are now here because it's still Honkai and because it has Welt. But this is where Cyrene is very hyped up and has a lot of expectation, and especially doubly so because she's the last major character of Amphorius. So this is where Amphorius already before this had two major characters. We had, oh god, what was it, Castorus and then Phynon. And when I say major, hopefully people know what I mean by this point, which is they get a lot of love, a lot of support, a lot of trailers, and a lot of time and effort put into them, and they're most likely going to be leading the meta and very OP. And for Phynon and Castorus, that was completely the case. It was completely fucking ridiculous what those characters did and still kind of do, if you have their teams at least. This is where Cyrene is going to be the next big character. Now, will she be as big and as good as Phynon and Castorus? I don't know. She's a support. So automatically she can't be that flashy, that crazy, even though she kind of is animation wise, but we'll get into that. But this is where they used her E6, and I don't know how people figure that out besides using the creator server to see what it does. But they used her E6 to showcase her, which is very, at best, false advertising, at worst, very, very grimy. But maybe I mixed this up. But either way, it's very, very bad that they had to do that and people found out, because it just goes along more with the idea that Cyrene is not that strong, at least as a DPS, maybe even as a support. And Cyrene is basically being set up as, with the way her whole kit works, as a person who only works, for the most part, from what I've heard, with Amphorius characters. You can use her obviously with the non-Amphorius characters, but at that point, it's really going to be subpar compared to other supports out there. She's not a generalist, she's an Amphoriist, if that makes sense. So this is where a lot of people are saying she's not that good, and they're begging Hoyo to essentially buff her, which Hoyo doesn't seem like they're going to do. And the worst part about all this, completely unrelated to her gameplay, to her power level, is they're also giving you, and this part I actually don't think is too bad, believe it or not, but this is another topic to talk about. They're doing another spending event similar to what they did for the anniversary, where if you spend, I think, $200 on the currency in the game, you can get a bow skin for Cyrene's weapon, which basically gives you a slightly different ult. I think people are taking this one kind of out of proportion. It does make the effect on the ult look a little different. Yeah, it makes you look like you're marrying her, basically. It's really not that different, I'll be honest. I couldn't even notice the difference at first, besides the pictures and like her little mirrors that she spawns. I don't think it's as big a deal as people are making it feel, but that's just me, and everyone, has their own subjective opinion, which is not wrong. Like, if you think it's a big deal, it is a big deal, because this is completely opinionated. But to me, it's really not a big deal, and it's actually better for me that it's so small and not obtrusive, because I can easily skip it and not feel bad, because I do really want to get Cyrene. But one of the other big things that we also have to question that people are upset about is it also seems, and a lot of this stuff is really early on and subject to change because we don't know. It's a lot of speculation. Cyrene seems to, number one, only really work with Amphoria's characters, but number two, is not going to be the type of character that moves forward for the next version. The biggest example of this that has occurred is Sunday. Sunday was released before Amphorius came out, and he is currently one of the best supports, especially for Finon. And he even got support with the new free character Don Hung, indirectly. But this is where there's two types of supports, and this actually happened in Penacony as well, right, with Sunday. The other person aside from Sunday was Fugue. Fugue was specifically tied to Super Break teams, and Super Break teams basically ate shit. And then Sunday was more of a generalist and tied to just, summons, right? And now look what we have, the entire meta of summons, right? So this is where going forward, we're going to get Cyrene. She's just for Amphorius. And then after her, we have the Dahlia. And this is where I'm not doing this as typical as I usually would with my criteria. We're kind of dropping all over the place here. But in terms of competition, if Dahlia is a support, which for right now she's a Nihility Fire character, which if that's the case, Nihility could be, it's a mix in the bag here. It's honestly just random. She could be a support, a sub DPS, a main DPS. We don't know. But if Fate is going to continue with history here, Dahlia might be the support that actually is better for the new version 4.0, because a lot of people are saying skip Cyrene, Amphorius is going to become defunct just like Super Break, and you might as well just start investing into the new teams in 4.0 anyway, because the game is going to get power crept, which is what it's been doing. I really, really don't know. I think Cyrene is still going to be a good pickup. I think there's a lot of fear mongering, and until we get hardcore numbers or finalizations, because who knows, maybe they might buffer at the end. I think a lot of people are kind of just going off their rocker and kind of freaking out. Not entirely unjustly, because Cyrene is a big character, and I think animation wise, to finally go on the criteria here, I think animation wise she's going to be good. And I think about being restrictive in terms of gameplay and meta wise, I think she still will be pretty good because yeah, even if she might only work for Amphoria's characters. I mean, again, they could make Amphoria's characters kind of defunct like Super Break was, although Super Break is still somewhat usable. You just have to have really good investment or Eidolons, which, at that point, I'm kind of saying, oh, go past the line a little bit of what I think is reasonable. But at this point, I think Amphorius is way stronger and way more varied than what Super Break was. And this is where if Cyrene can work with like what was it, 14 characters, I think, which is Amphorius characters, I think she'll be fine. I think she won't be defunct too soon. I think she'll be okay. And either way, I actually really like Cyrene. I really like her kit, and I want my Amphorius team to be strong as fuck. So it might be a mistake going forward. I might regret my purchase. We'll see. And by purchase, I mean my rollings, really. I'm not buying anything for her, hopefully. But this is where, going forward, hopefully I don't have buyer's regret, but I don't think I will, because at the very least, Cyrene does look to be a big character, so she'll hopefully be good for a little bit. But in terms of competition, it's really the Dahlia. If Dahlia is a support moving forward, I think Dahlia is going to be a lot more future-proofed, maybe. Cyrene does look locked time for his characters, although I don't think that gives her too soon of an expiration date. Look-wise, I think she's absolutely amazing. I think she's beautiful. Her animations are fucking epic as shit. She has a lot going on, and we're going to see that here too. I think lore wise, obviously, I don't even want to go over the whole story, but Amphorius started off okay, dipped a little bit, took a lot of build up, and now is going crazy mode. I like Cyrene's story. I like Cyrene. I still like Finon more. I think Finon is my number one. Cyrene's definitely up there with casters. I think they're all three great big characters from this version. And then again, gameplay meta wise, I think things are going to be fine. But Jesus Christ, after that whole yap fest, and after 10 minutes, which is almost how long this reaction is going to be, with just the keeping up with the star rail, Let's finally get into it, see the lore from Albert, and try and understand more of her kit and actually see some specifics. I really hope they don't go over every specific buff she gives, because that's her gameplay. She gives specific buffs to specific characters of Amphorius. Hopefully they don't go over all of them. She's really cool though, you can tell she's different. Why is this quality so bad? Also, what the fuck is Albert even saying? What the? They're speaking in mem? I can't believe Albert is saying shit like this. Is there no subtitles? What the fuck? There was no subtitles. Oh, now there's subtitles. What was the subtitles before?
Hello everyone, I'm Cyrene in mem form.
I love her mem form.
No, wait. You can speak human language?
You can speak
Of course
mem
I can
language?
Speak human language.
Why didn't you say so earlier?
Bruh.
Mr. Albert's mem sounds were so cute that I forgot to remind you.
They were kinda cringe,
Was
man.
this
I
on
don't
purpose,
know.
or was it an accident?
How could a cute pink fairy have any evil intentions?
They called her like a
Forget about the
rabbit.
mem language. Let's not keep the audience waiting. It's time to introduce today's star. Cyrene is an
Ah, she's like an angel. It's Alicia!
Innocent mem to the youthful and livest Cyrene. She's accompanied everyone on this long journey.
That soft but strong-willed girl with moments of
Also, I want to put this out there. Most people are assuming from a lot of the trailers that they put out recently that I reacted to as well, that Amphorius is gonna end really fucking sad, man. And if it ends sad and Cyrene gets fucked, I'm gonna be so depressed because she already kind of got fucked in the lore. Not as bad as Finon, but like, god fucking damn, man. Enough is enough with the fucking depressing shit of Amphorius.
wild imagination as magnificent as
Let
dancing
me lower
petals.
this too.
That's me.
She's literally
When using her
swinging
breaching
on
attack,
her bow.
Cyrene deals ice damage to one designated enemy.
Bro, that jiggle's
Pretty pink girls
crazy.
are all great archers.
Is
Ooh.
Master March holding archery classes in Amphorius?
She looks so
With her
fucking
skill,
pretty,
Cyrene
man.
creates a zone that lasts for a number of turns while the zone is active.
It's
Each time
basically
an ally
Nahida
deals
Oath, by
damage,
the way.
An additional instance of true damage is.
Oh, also, she's basically taking over Remembrance Trailblazer, because in the new region, we're probably going to get a new Trailblazer, so we need a substitute for RTB. And RTB was good, too. She was a really good character. At this point, if the main character is not good in the versions moving forward, that's how you know when Star Rail's really getting to be like Genshin and being greedy and ass.
Inflicted. After using her technique,
AoE
Cyrene creates a
Trailblazer.
special dimension around herself.
That
Allied
is
characters within this
crazy.
special dimension gain a movement speed boost.
Crazy.
Enemies within this dimension will enter the this moment forever state.
They get fucking
unable to move or
frozen.
detect allies. Upon entering battle with an enemy in the dimension, Cyrene will deploy her skill zone.
Watch me
Whoa.
turn this place into a
So it's
pretty
like
little temple
Treeby.
with a single tap.
While Cyrene is on the field, damage dealt by all allies increases.
So
When
literally
ally
just
begins or after Cyrene
20%
takes
buff.
action, all allies gain one stack of future. When allied targets take action, future transforms into recollection.
Okay.
In addition, Cyrene can also gain recollection through using her basic attack and skill.
Okay.
Once she's gained 24 recollection,
So a lot of people also said it takes too long to stack up her ult here. Also, you know a character's big, by the way, when they have a custom ult. Fei Xiao had it. Firefly didn't, but Firefly's the exception, I think. Fei Xiao had it. Finon has it. Castris has it. Whenever they have like a special ult condition to get their ult, Acheron has it. That's when you know they're a big fucking character. They don't just use energy.
points. Cyrene can use her ultimate.
And she
With a
becomes
heart
the
full of
memo sprite.
recollection,
This shit
together
looks
we shall write a
crazy, by
verse
the
unlike
way.
any before.
Ooh, the
When
wedding
Cyrene
ring.
uses her ultimate for the first time, she
kisses
activates
it.
all teammates' ultimates and dispels crowd control debuffs from all
That's fucking broken, by the way.
allies. Meanwhile, she transforms into her own memo sprite.
Literally, she's transforming into herself. Like, I don't get that part. It's so funny to me.
Wow, summon on yourself.
This is probably the best in slot option now for casters teams, because you're already going to use, I was about to say Black March, which basically it is, but you're already going to use Evernight. And right now, the best in slot team is 3 Memo Keepers, or sorry, 3 Remembrance characters, and Treeby. And if you do that, you're not maxing out Evernight's passive to have 4 Remembrance characters. This solves that.
I can finally fly like Mem.
After transforming,
Oh, it's
Cyrene can use her
crazy.
even more powerful enhanced basic attack, which deals ice damage to a designated enemy target and all enemies while she gains
So it's
recollection.
complete AoE.
And when she transforms, she will immediately deploy her skill zone. Those
Crazy.
effects are permanent.
Wild.
And the temple I build becomes even prettier.
Oh.
Compliment me.
Oh my
When she's gained
god.
12
She's
recollection
asking
points,
for it.
Memo Sprite Cyrene can immediately use her skill.
Okay.
Memo Sprite Cyrene's skill has two
So she's like a
versions,
sub
namely
DPS like
Ode to
everyone
All
else.
Lives that can be used on allies, and Minuet of Blooms and Plumes that can be used on enemies.
What? They could
When using
choose.
Minuet of Blooms and Plumes, Memo Sprite Cyrene deals ice damage to
This
all
shit looks
enemies.
crazy, by the
Remember to
way.
wish upon a shooting star.
That shit
Using
is
this
blowing
ode
up
to
the
all lives,
planet.
Memo Sprite Cyrene can increase
then
the
she
damage
kisses
dealt by
you.
a target ally.
Impressive, huh?
When the target of the Memo Sprite skill, this Ode to All Lives, is a Chrysosaur, the
And
ability's
there's a
effect
lot of
will be
those.
replaced by a special blessing effect.
Oh.
I'll let my colleague Carmela explain this part to
Carmela.
everyone.
Oh, it's the
It's
camera
finally my turn to
lady.
shine.
I missed
Here's the beautiful
her.
Miss Carmela.
Hello again, most charming Miss Mem.
Ooh, Lemmy.
Let me host this part.
This
on
is so
behalf of
funny.
Mr. Albert. The
Look at
omnipotent
this
Miss
shit.
Cyrene can provide every Chrysos
They
heir
call
with
her
different kinds of
omnipotent.
help. In other words, she can provide a total of 14 exclusive buffs to her 13 Chrysos heir friends and herself.
Ridiculous.
After using the
Ridiculous.
Memo Sprite skill on Aglaya's
They're really gonna go over all of them. No fucking way.
combat flow will be much smoother and she'll deal more
Bro, Aglia players are crying right now.
damage.
Me romance never be absent.
After using the Memo Sprite skill on Treeby can deal more damage to enemies in the current battle.
Jesus
Me
Christ.
passage never have farewells.
Okay, they're going
After
quick at
using the
least.
skill on Mighty, he can immediately take action.
Okay.
If he's in the Vendetta state, he can unleash a crit damage boosted version of Godslayer Be God.
May strife be crowned king.
After using
Ooh.
the Memo Sprite skill on
Casterus.
Casterus,
Dude, look at how much is on the right here. What the fuck? I heard Castrus's one could just keep going. And the sad part is I also heard she's not good with Fine On.
the upper limit of Newbud is doubled in the current battle, and
Wild.
Netherwing can deal more damage.
May life and death sprout new
So
buds.
it's really just more damage for the
After
most part
using the
on
Memo Sprite
everyone.
skill on Anaxa, his damage frequency and strength will increase.
May
What?
reason enlighten the truth.
Ooh.
When Hyacinth is on the team, Little Ika
The
will deal even
DPS
more
fucking
damage after
nuker.
Cyrene uses her Memo Sprite
Oh
skill.
my god, he's gonna
If
nuke
Cyrene
harder.
uses the skill on Hyacinth, it can also regenerate energy for her.
May the sky heal the twilight.
Oh my
After using the Memo
god.
Sprite skill on Cypher can reduce the defense of all enemies, especially the Patron in the current battle.
Again,
And
just
he
more
outputs increased
damage.
May
Jesus.
trickery remain a game.
After using the Memo Sprite skill
Where's
on
Fine On?
Finan,
Yes!
he will immediately get
Yes!
and will not exit his transformation after transforming.
What would you even put like Cyrene in for if you don't have Sunday, I guess? Maybe if you don't have well, I don't even know.
In his transformed state, his combat capabilities will be boosted based on the number of surplus core flames.
May world-bearing ignite the dawn.
After using the Memo Sprite skill on Hycealins can activate her ultimate
This is where
faster.
this is really sad because I don't think Cyrene fits into most of these people's teams. 'Cause if you look at the Hyceland's team here, there's no healer.
In the current battle, she can also deal DOT more
Which I guess if you're a late game player and you're doing a late game game mode anyway, this is probably fine.
frequently on enemies.
May the oceans drum a feast.
After using the Memo Sprite skill on Saridra, the character with military merit can more quickly launch another coup de main in the battle after the first.
That's not bad.
May law walk into the stars.
After using the Memo Sprite
Oh,
skill on
shit.
Evernight,
Evernight.
damage output and support abilities in battle will be increased.
This is already a problem, by the way. I wonder if you can buff multiple people at the same time.
And the damage rotation will be smoother.
May
'Cause this
time
looks like
watch
a
over the Evernight.
problem.
Whenever Don Hung Promancer Terrai is on the team, Cyrene's Memo Sprite skill enhances the damage dealt by the Bondmaid and Soul Dragon. Using the
Jesus.
Memo Sprite skill on Dong Hung PT also further increases his protective ability.
May the
I
earth
didn't notice anything there. They showed like a before and after. I didn't notice anything.
protect the road ahead.
After using the Memo Sprite skill on Remembrance
Ooh, that's us,
Trailblazer,
that's
the
us.
Trailblazer and Mem can deal more damage in the current battle, and after the Trailblazer uses their enhanced basic attack, Memo Sprite Cyrene will immediately use Minuet of Blooms and Plumes.
Okay, that's kind
May
of
the
crazy.
trailblaze fulfill the promise of love.
Ooh, love.
Cyrene will
Can she use
obtain
on
stories
herself?
after she summons her Memo Sprite and uses the Memo Sprite skill. With the required number of stories, Memo Sprite Cyrene will immediately act and use Minuet of Blooms and Plumes. The more her teammates provide recollection, the more damage Minuet deals.
But they're like they're crossing out so much of the fucking name here because it's like a lore spoiler. Wow. Everyone blanket. So they're not telling you what her oh god, what the fuck was it called? They're not saying what her Memo Sprite version is called. Huh. That must be a big spoiler. I wonder if it's the Demiurge.
May the world be as we wish.
Oh, she's so
Let
cute.
This story that began with love also ends with love.
Yes, it will! Let's sum it up! Miss Cyrene can provide teammates with many different powerful support
But are they
effects,
better
which
than
are
her
highly
base support
effective in
effect?
different teams. As long as Miss Cyrene is present, all allies can deal increased damage.
No matter
Her skill
what, as
can
long as
also
she's
cause all
alive.
allies' attacks to deal additional true damage.
Crazy.
After fully stacking recollection through her own and her teammates' actions, Miss Cyrene can use her ultimate, activate all allies' ultimates, and transform into a Memo Sprite. As a Memo Sprite, Miss Cyrene can use 2 different Memo Sprite
autoplay
skills
must
to
go
either
crazy
deal damage
here.
to enemies or to increase damage dealt by her teammates. If the teammate who receives the Memo Sprite skill buff is a Chrysos heir, or if there are Chrysos heirs on the team, Miss Cyrene will provide exclusive buffs to enhance the role of each Chrysos heir friend in battle.
Crazy.
To sum up the summary, don't mess with beautiful girls with pink hair.
Oh,
That's
the
right.
heart.
Oh? But these goth fanatics don't
Goth?
seem to agree and are demanding a fight.
Ooh, then let's show 'em a thing or two. The whole team uses
Look
their
at this
techniques,
crazy
and it is
shit,
back,
bruh.
fully prepared.
So much
Thanks to the
AoE.
effects of Cyrene's technique, Cyrene deploys her skill zone
So we immediately go to the fucking Hellverse and we have like a wedding veil here. What the fuck?
upon entering battle. This makes the team's attacks deal additional true damage.
Jesus.
They strike by the iron tide, continuously dealing damage.
Bruh.
Thanks to Cyrene's talent, the team can deal even greater damage while Cyrene is on the field. Due
Oh
to the
my
effects
God.
of Cyrene's traces, after her speed reaches a certain threshold, damage dealt by allies
Ooh,
is
build her
further
speed.
increased.
See, that's
Under the
what I wanna
squad's
know.
devastating assault, the enemy is beaten to a pulp.
Still, the enemy refuses to submit.
I was gonna say, that was a
planning to attack
really
while the
fast
squad's on
showcase.
cooldown, but Miss Cyrene won't give the opponent that chance.
He looks so
Miss Cyrene
cool.
and her teammates' previous actions
looks like
granted
it
her
takes
recollection,
forever.
And now she's fully stacked with it. She unleashes her ultimate, summoning the Memo Sprite, and immediately activates her teammates' ultimates.
Summoning
Then she
herself.
uses her Memo Sprite skill on Miss Castress and Miss Evernight, boosting their combat
Wait,
capabilities.
so she could do 2?
Her own special blessing is also triggered. She immediately gains 1 extra turn and uses Minuet of Blooms and Plumes, destroying the enemy.
Oh my god.
Second wave of enemies arrives.
There's
This
so many
time,
waves.
it's tougher, but the squad isn't worried. Thanks to Cyrene's blessings, the team has
This
never
shit looks
been more
crazy.
powerful. Thanks to the effects of Cyrene's Memo Strike skill, Evernight's damage
My
and support
God.
capabilities have been boosted. Hyacinth also obtains Ode Disguise. This allows little Ika to deal more damage.
Jesus Christ,
Cyrene's zone
Ika's
is
a
now
walking
permanently
nuke.
activated. With the added effect of true damage, the enemy is already barely holding on.
Holy
Finally,
fuck.
Cassius consumes 200% of New Bud to summon Netherwing, and with Cyrene's blessing, Netherwing is capable of dealing massive damage. In one cataclysmic explosion, the enemy is completely reduced to ashes. And that's a wrap.
Good riddance.
Jesus Christ, I feel so bad for these fucking
Actually,
enemies.
Since you now have a human form, why did you come on this show as ma'am?
That's a
Well,
good
Because if I
question.
showed up in this form, I'd get to hear Mr. Albert speak in mem language.
Oh, she was kicking her little
Huh? Did I
feet,
miss
yeah.
something? Can Mr. Albert demonstrate again? Recording on.
Don't you
Oh
even
my
think I'm
god,
mad.
she actually said
Aw,
that
so
too.
mean.
Oh,
Well,
she's
actually,
sad.
It's because I started this Amphorius journey with you two as mem, so I wanted to say farewell as mem too.
Oh no,
What do you
not
mean
the
by
farewell. Oh
Just
no.
as every story has an ending, your journey in Amphorius must also come to an end.
Oh
Will we see each other
no.
again?
As long as our tales are still sung, we will always be able to reunite in memories. We're almost out of time, so let's give a final callback.
Final callback?
Oh,
Farewell, Mr. Silver-Tongued Owl, and
Whoa.
Miss Diligent and Headstrong
I think
Intellitron.
he's silver tongue. Oh, the little hurdles, what the? That is so cute. Okay, so, yeah, basically main thing. Oh, what the? Oh my fucking god.
Thank you both for your contributions on this journey.
Oh, are they finally out of
Conclusion.
Euphorius?
Conclusion? You can happily clock off. Now it's time for the Cosmic Alliance to make preparations.
Oh.
If you're bad, I'll use you next time as well.
Next time, please give me a softer landing.
Bro, I love how this thing has its own lore shit too. It's so funny. Okay, wow. Alright, so there it is. So, pretty good overall. I mean, again, the main thing is she's either a big bait for people, or okay, she's either for casuals who are gonna get fooled into thinking she's insane, and she's probably really, really fucking good on casters teams, right? Let's be real. There's some teams like Finon, Mate. Okay, if there's any team that uses Tribby, I think she replaces Tribby. Or if you're missing characters, she's probably okay. I'm so like half and half here. I can see instances where if you're very well invested in Tam Forest and you have a lot of characters, I actually think she ends up being worse because there's a lot of team comps she doesn't work in if you have best in slots, right? But let's just say in Finon, for example, for some reason you don't have Sunday. You're going to put her in. I'm pretty sure you're going to put her in over, you know, if you didn't have Sunday. Now the question is, if you have the full Finon team, Saridra, Finon, Sunday, and Dan Hung PT, who are you replacing for her? Like, I don't know. Caster's team, she obviously fits perfectly, and that's probably her best team. Dude, the fucking guide makers are probably going to have a fucking nightmare with her. There's going to be so much to go over, Jesus Christ. But, I do think that if you're missing characters, she's probably good, because she's a side grade to some supports, potentially. It looks like she's going to be like the rest of the Amphorius cast, where she does a lot of sub-DPS as a support character. I don't even know if she would be considered a support character. I mean, obviously she is, but I'm curious if she's going to outdamage Hyacinth, because Hyacinth is basically a fucking DPS. Triby as well, kind of. But this is where, if you're well invested, it's really harder to justify her unless you just want her for really casterous. Let's be real. This is really hard because if you're casual, you don't care and you just want her. If you like Alicia and you want her, you don't care for meta, then there you go. There's a couple of reasons right there, right? You either love Alicia, you don't care about meta, you're casual, or you're missing characters. Those are the main reasons why a person will get this character. But she's definitely a little bit of a bait depending on your account. But it really depends. At the end of the day, roll for who the fuck you want. If you like them, you like them. But I'm really curious to see what the Dahlia is going to do. Now, the biggest boon we have is that she's on the whole fucking version. And that's really fucking good. So we do have time, and we'll probably get to see the Dahlia before she's gone. And by she, I mean Cyrene. So we'll get to compare. Should we get the Dahlia or should we get Cyrene? I'm really leaning towards Cyrene, but I'm honestly going to wait because my teams are good enough as is. But yeah, it sucks that like they put so much effort and they put a lot of like personality into her with her kit. How she like has a buff, and realistically it's just more damage, let's be real, in a different way. But she does have a buff for every character. It's just I feel like that's kind of wasted because it's kind of a bait. You shouldn't use her with every character. There's teams where I don't think she fits well on. Unless you're missing characters or you just don't care. But that's basically it. Definitely there is a lot of nuance to this character. I think some of the complaints are partially valid, but I also do think people are taking this kind of out of proportion. But either way, it's Cyrene. I won't really blame them. They love Alicia. They like Cyrene. Whatever it might be, it is what it is. We gotta see. She's probably going to be top tier, though. Let's be real. It's just a question of how long. Either way, though, that's going to be it for me. Hope everyone enjoyed. Please tell me what you think. And if you want to see more of me, watch me at Twitch TV /Tecnics channel. Holy shit, this thing was almost half an hour. Hope everyone has a good one.